Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, a podcast about Robb's movies with your hosts, Robb Spewak and Josh Sroka. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin.
In sparkling black and white, hello and welcome to Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks. I am Robb Spewak.
I'm Josh Sroka. My suit is in the cleaner still.
You see, I won't often dress up for an episode of Hicks Nicks, but the dinner jacket that Humphrey Bogart wears in Casablanca, that's our movie this week, is so choice. I just had to put it on.
And
So
that's why you picked out this dinner jacket? Not today, but in general, why you own it?
You know what? Probably. Yeah, I probably is.
I mean, it sounds about right.
It was ostensibly bought for a Mike O'Mara Show live show, but I didn't buy white for the live show. I bought it because of this movie.
Right. There's always inspiration.
Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a few days since we've been here, but we are glad to have you back. And I won't speak for Josh, but I am extraordinarily excited about this week. This is a great film. And I will say, if you haven't seen it, pause, go watch it, pay for upgraded HBO Max so you don't watch it with commercials, right, Josh?
Oh, yeah. It's on HBO Max. That's where I watched it. With or without commercials is fine. As you have informed me, most people saw this thing on TV with commercials.
Yeah.
So
it's
if you like The Olive Garden, check it out on HBO Max.
But if you're trying to get it in before a 2:00 start time, maybe get those commercials out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't let you skip them. I now know all about their buy one, take one deal.
That's great. They're breadsticks, all you want. Also, we try to pick, as we just said, the movies a week in advance so you guys can play along. But we always thought it might be nice if a listener could assign us a movie to do on the show. Because, I mean, I know it's very, very self-centered for it to say it's a podcast about Robb's movies. And mostly it is. But if you would like to request, how do the people request a song?
Let's see. You can just reach out to one of us. Mm-hmm. And I think for a nominal charge, we will watch whatever you want. Now, we can
also submit on the site, right? The website? I
believe so.
Yeah.
Is there a button?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. And I'll tell you exactly what that button says.
Okay, here it comes, everybody. Get ready. You paid for that upgraded internet?
Yeah. Hold on. I got
for that upgraded website, actually.
Yeah, as soon as I get past the Olive Garden ad, I'll be able to
Olive Garden there too? God, do they think that's all you eat? This man loves salad.
I don't even know where one is in Florida.
Well,
you can click on the, where is it? Leave a review, videos, episodes. There it is. Donate.
Donate.
You can click on the donate button. That will allow you to send us some money through PayPal or buy me a coffee and donate to the show there. And if you want to donate, I don't know how much to pick out a movie.
I think we said,
did we say
bucks?
$200? Did we say $200? I think $200 because that lets us each take $100 home.
Sure.
So that no matter how bad the movie is, we at least get something out of it.
I like that you said take the money home like we're out at a studio somewhere.
Right, exactly.
When I finish my day of work, I'll take that home.
Right, put it in the pocket.
So if there's a movie, and a lot of people have suggested stuff, it was red hot for people to request stuff around Halloween.
Yes.
So if you got something coming up, maybe an Easter movie you like.
Yes. If you would like us to watch The Passion of the Christ, you got to get it in by tomorrow, though.
That's right. Get it in. But we take all comers. Now, one quick bit of business. I don't like to be made to feel like my mind is as addled as it is. And when I talked to you, I believe, on the 16 Candles episode about bigger floppy disks, and you said they never existed?
No. You called them like 10 inches, and I said they were 5 1/4.
Well, here, this will tell you something. This comes from a guy I went to high school with, good guy, and a big supporter of all things TMOS, TJ Walsh. And he writes, "Hello, Robb. First off, I'd like to say sorry to hear about your dad. Thank you very much. The person who reminded you how proud he really was that you got to be yourself. Best wishes in this trying time. TJ, that's very sweet. Thank you. But here we go with a dramatic change of tone. You are 100% right about there being floppy disks bigger than 5¼ inches. There were 8-inch discs that looked identical to the ones we had back in the day, just bigger. And he says, guess who's listening to Hicks Picks while doing his Costco shopping? He saw himself these discs. He himself saw them at Madison High School.
Maybe 8-inch. I can buy that. 10 inches just sounded ridiculous.
Okay,
I'll give him the 8.
I was little, so maybe they seemed bigger.
Right. I remember the 5¼ very like being all over the place. And then
there was the hard plastic,
the hard
3-inch
plastic
one.
yes.
Right. But TJ, thank you for making me remember that I have just a little bit of sanity left.
And we'll see you at Costco.
We will, absolutely. And I bet we see him at the next TMOS event. He's a good guy like that.
I hope
all
so.
Right. So let's talk about Casablanca. I love the Warner Brothers. That fanfare is so good. Oh, by the way, when you watched it, did you think you were watching the Maltese Falcon?
It's got a similar feel. I
and
think
all
you could
the people.
You could put these two. Here's what you could do. You could put these two movies on Turner Classic back to back, and you will you will fall asleep and wake up and think the same movie's still going on.
They are markedly similar. They are definitely both from the Warner Brothers Sausage Factory, where they had their actors that they used and they got a script and they threw it in, and Hollywood was a business and the studios were turning out one picture a week. So they had to get them done. Anyway, Casablanca comes out 1942, starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Claude Rains, Conrad Veidt, Peter Lorre, Sidney Greenstreet, S.K. Sakal, and Dooley Wilson. Music by Max Steiner. Directed by the great Michael Curtiz. And Warner Brothers Pictures, 1 hour, 42 minutes. And we open on a spinning globe of the world. And it's obviously made of clay. It's not the best effect, but it shows the wide world. And there's a spoken narration that, in a nutshell, gives us what the movie and the setting and the conflict is about. I will read that narration now. With the coming of the Second World War, many eyes in imprisoned Europe turned hopefully, or desperately, toward the freedom of the Americas. Lisbon became the great embarkation point, but not everyone could get to Lisbon directly, and so a tortuous roundabout refugee trail sprang up, Paris to Marseille, across the Mediterranean to Oran, then by train, or auto, or foot, across the rim of Africa to Casablanca in French Morocco. Here the fortunate ones, through money, or influence, or luck, might obtain exit visas and scurry to Lisbon, and from Lisbon to the New World. But the others wait in Casablanca, and wait, and wait, and wait. Now, the narrator is not credited in the movie. His name is Lou Marcel, and he was like the Don LaFontaine of movie trailers in the 1940s. He did them all. Now, but you can see him in the movie Riders of the Pony Express. Yes.
The question is about that.
Yeah.
Is all that was set up in Casablanca and people passing through there to try to get to the U.S. and freedom, is that all that true?
Yeah.
Was that a real thing going on around World War II?
True. Yeah, okay. Well, everyone wanted out. Europe was not a great place to be.
I know that. But the fact that we're in Morocco and coming all down there to try to work our way out, that was a true thing? This
absolutely was. And we open on the city of Casablanca. It's a bustling marketplace. And we learn that 2 German couriers on their way to Casablanca have been murdered, and that all suspicious people, easy for me to say, all the people that are sus, Josh, they need to be rounded up. And they find a guy with expired papers. He is detained and he is shot. And he was found to be carrying a pamphlet that says, Free France, which obviously opposed unoccupied France, or Vichy, a region that had at that time an uneasy alliance with Nazi Germany after the Germans attacked France. So there's a big underground movement trying to make France free, and all of Europe free, obviously. But this is a thorn in the side of the Nazis, as you can imagine.
You know what they needed then?
What?
Some freedom fries.
They probably did, and a big arch. Arch burger. The crowd is distracted by the arrival of a plane, because that plane is really the only way out of Casablanca to Lisbon and freedom and out of this living hell. Now, the plane arrives, and it is bringing to Casablanca General Heinrich Strasser, played by Conrad Veidt of the Third Reich. Actually, the characters of the Third Reich, not Conrad Veidt. Conrad Veidt was a devoted, very, very passionate anti-Nazi guy. So it's funny that he would play a Nazi in this movie. He is welcomed to, as they say, unoccupied France by the prefect of police, Louis Renault, played by Claude Rains. The Nazis are eager to find out who murdered those two couriers, but Renault tells them, don't worry, tonight he'll be at Rick's. Everybody comes to Rick's. Now, what's your first take when you see Renault? Because he is such a great character.
I think there's so many great characters in here. He's not my favorite in the movie.
Okay.
But there's many great characters where you actually care about this guy. Like you're sucked in by wondering what's his story.
Exactly. I love it. It's been said in modern times that Denzel Washington never makes a bad movie. Well, Claude Rains, that was his gig in the 30s and 40s. Every movie he was in was a classy film. He worked at Warner's. He would move on to MGM, but he was just a great actor. And he played originally the Invisible Man. And he was picked because he had a great voice. Because you don't see
you didn't have to see him. Sure.
So that's very cool. I like that. So we cut to Rick's Cafe Americain, which is not American, but it is.
Right.
Americain. Yeah, Americain. And it is a happening scene. It is crowded and smoky, and they've got great music, courtesy of the orchestra and Sam, the piano player, played by Dooley Wilson. And they're singing.
Sam is my favorite character in the entire movie.
I want to talk about him, so
Sam's
hold your
great.
thoughts. Yeah, he is. He's singing It Had to Be You, which is funny. Almost all of the music cues in this movie, all the pop music cues, are songs that were already owned by Warner Brothers to keep it cheap.
Convenient.
As a matter of fact, you will see overlap. You will see overlap in songs in this movie and Bugs Bunny cartoons.
But it's
because
smart.
These are all songs they own, right?
And it's not just about owning. It's about the more they use it, the more exposure it gets, and those songs get stuck in everyone's head.
The one song that everyone assumes is an original, it is not. It was written in like the 20s, late 20s, is of course As Time Goes By. And that is original sheet music from the release of the movie that I have framed in my home. But that is, that's the song. That's a good one. So we're watching all this stuff. When you see Rick's, at least me, I want to be there. I think it looks awesome. We got to see several desperate patrons there that would beg, borrow, and steal to get out of Casablanca. And at least me, I got the impression that a lot of underhanded deals go there. Shady folk.
It's the happening place, though. So everything happens there. So
we first see Rick Blaine, who is played by Humphrey Bogart, playing chess in a private room. And this truly is a private room. And Rick runs this place with an iron fist. He denies entry to the head of the Deutsche Bank. The man who runs all of the banking in Germany is not good enough to come in. However, he does let in, it's so great, he lets in Senor Ugarte.
You despise me, don't you?
Well, if I gave you any thought, I probably would.
But why? You object to the kind of business I do, huh? But think of all those poor refugees who must rot in this place if I didn't help them. Well, that's not so bad. Through ways of my own, I provide them with exit visas.
For a price, Ugarte. For a price.
But think of all the poor devils who can't meet Renault's price. I get it for them for half. Is that so parasitic?
I don't mind a parasite. I object to a cut-rate one.
Well, Rick, after tonight, I'll be through with the whole business, and I'm leaving, finally, this Casablanca.
Who's bribed for your visa? Renault or yourself?
Myself. Found myself much more reasonable. Look, Rick. You know what this is? Something that even you have never seen. Letters of transit signed by General Weygand. Cannot be rescinded, not even questioned. One moment. Tonight I'll be selling those for more money than even I have ever dreamed of. And then, adio, Casablanca. You know, Rick, I have many a friend in Casablanca, but somehow, just because you despise me, you are the only one I trust. Will you keep these for me, please?
For how long?
Perhaps an hour, perhaps a little longer.
I don't want them here overnight.
Don't be afraid of that. Please keep them for me. Thank you. I knew I could trust you.
Thank you. I knew I could trust you. Wow.
Do you think they gave him the cigar or the cigarette so he'd stop putting other random objects in his mouth?
Probably, yeah. Lollipops.
Like, Maltese Falcon, he kept trying to put that cane in his mouth.
That's right. That's true.
I mean, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
He plays a very similar character.
Yeah. He's the voice of Boo Berry. That is such a brief scene. And Ugarte, that's basically all he does in the movie. He has a couple other brief nods. He's so memorable. And there's like 18 quotable things in that scene, including one of my favorite lines, "You despise me, don't you?" Which is really not a great way to strike up a friendship. But it really does lay the groundwork for what's yet to come. And before you ask, no, they do not exist. Letters of transit never existed.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I assume so. All right.
They were invented as a plot device by the Epstein brothers, who wrote this movie. Philip and Julius, not
Before
the guy
the
with the list. Yeah, exactly. But now we know about the letters of transit.
I bet the island had letters of transport.
But not signed by General de Gaulle himself.
No.
So the favor that he wants Rick, Rick still despises him, but he does it. And he says that he will hold on to the letters. And as he's leaving, Rick says, "I heard a rumor that those 2 German couriers, they were holding letters of transit." And without saying that they were and that he stole them, Ugarte says, "Yeah, they were, and I stole them." And that's when he becomes even more despicable. And Rick says, "I am a little more impressed." So Rick goes, there's a band number going on. It's called Knock on Wood. And he hides the letters in Sam's piano. World's smallest piano. But that's where the letters are hidden. And he'll pick them up later on. So we think. Now we meet what could be my favorite character in the movie. Ferrari. Played by the fat man, Sidney Greenstreet, also from Maltese Falcon,
yes,
who is a competing bar owner. And you have to admit, he's exactly the same character.
They all
Warner Brothers even dressed him in a white suit again, so he looked like his character from Maltese Falcon. He doesn't like that Rick is a competitor. He offers to buy Rick's bar so he can put it out of business so everyone will come to his place, the Blue Parrot. Rick says no. He says he'd like to buy Sam. He says no. Because Rick doesn't deal in the sale of human beings. So
Sam's been with him forever.
Yeah.
Sam came to Casablanca with him.
So he does not succeed in getting any stuff from Rick. That's the point that a young lady named Yvonne, who is really, even in modern standards, lovely, 1940s, gorgeous. And she is yelling at Rick because obviously they've had a fling and he wants nothing to do with her, and she is wicked pissed. So she's drunk and making a scene. So he has Sasha, the bartender, escort her home in a cab. But so we see that Rick, he enjoys the female species, but he's not very sensitive to them.
He's still a good guy.
Yeah, but he's angry. He's an angry fella. So at this point, Rick and Renault share a drink. And Renault wants to know, why did you never return to America? And Rick won't answer. Then Rick tells him that Rick finds out there's going to be a big arrest at his club that night. And he also is advised, Renault tells Rick, don't ever sell an exit visa, not even to Victor Laszlo, who is played by Paul Henry. And then we get one of the greatest lines in the movie. He says, "I stick my neck out for no one." And they make a bet.
As a matter of fact, I wanted to give you a word of advice.
Yeah? Yeah, brandy?
Thank you. Rick, there are many exit visas sold in this cafe, but we know that you've never sold one. That is the reason we permit you to remain open.
Oh, I thought it was because I let you win at roulette.
That is another reason. There is a man arrived in Casablanca on his way to America. He will offer a fortune to anyone who'll furnish him with an exit visa.
Well, what's his name?
Victor Laszlo.
Victor Laszlo?
Rick, that is the first time I've ever seen you so impressed.
Well, he succeeded in impressing half the world.
It's my duty to see that he doesn't impress the other half. Rick, Laszlo must never reach America. He stays in Casablanca.
It'll be interesting to see how he manages.
Manages what?
His escape?
Oh, but I've just told you, Rick.
Stop it. Escaped from a concentration camp. The Nazis have been chasing him all over Europe.
This is the end of the chase.
20,000 francs says it isn't.
Is that a serious offer?
I just paid out 20. I'd like to get it back.
Make it 10. I'm only a poor, corrupt official.
Okay.
Love it. So they make the bet. And let me remove that there. Sorry about that. They make the bet. And we find out that Rick has sort of a past of playing with the underdog in matters of international intrigue. And he is genuinely impressed by the notion of Victor Laszlo, who is well known in the underground. Now there is an unfortunate moment in which Senor Ugarte, before he picks up his letters of transit, he is violently arrested and escorted away by the police. And I believe it's kind of understood what's going to happen to him, and it ain't good. There's some gunplay, and a guy says, "Gosh, Rick, I hope you would be more helpful when I come to be arrested." And he says, "I stick my neck out for nobody." Now,
well, there's some convenient arrest throughout the movie.
So now Rick sits down with the Nazi Strasser and Renault, and they interview Rick, who keeps his absolute cool. It's so great that the Nazis are all about trying to shake him, and they give him a detailed dossier of everything about his life, and his only comment is, "Are my eyes really brown?" He keeps his cool. It's awesome. This is the point that we enter Act 2, because the previously discussed Victor Laszlo, Paul Henreid, and the beautiful Ilsa Lund, played by Ingrid Bergman, they enter the cafe. And as they are being seated, it's a weird moment where Ilsa seems to recognize Sam, the piano player. So that's odd. And at the moment, Laszlo is looking for Ugarte, but as we know, he's too late. Renault joins Ilsa and Laszlo for a drink and ask about Sam and Rick. Strasser busts in and demands a meeting with Laszlo, which they grant. Now, unfortunately, Josh, and I wish I was there when you saw this, the Spanish flamenco number with the lady on the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
This is unfortunate. This is not the best part of the movie.
Well, it also can be taken out and the movie's fine.
True, agreed, but I will give them a little bit of credit is there is some plot advancement during the song. I just don't like the song very much.
Okay.
So while they're off doing that, Laszlo finds out from a guy named Berger that Ugarte's been arrested. No! So there's no way to get at these letters of transit. At the same time, Ilsa has Sam's piano moved to her table. They definitely know each other. She asks about Rick. Sam awkwardly lies and says, "Miss Ilsa, leave him alone. You're bad luck to him." But she has a request.
Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by.
Oh, I can't remember it myself. I'm a little rusty on it.
I'll hum it for you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Sing it, Sam.
You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by.
So there is obviously some importance to that song.
Of course.
Rick storms out and he is pissed. He said, "I told you to never play that song." And then he sees Ilsa and it's basically, "Urch!" And there is awkwardness hanging heavy in the air. Now, I have to ask, because you're one of the rare people that I associate with that have never seen this movie.
Okay.
Until this very day. What was your take on when Ilsa and Rick see each other? What was going through your mind? Because obviously there's something.
Well, yeah. Obviously there was something. And I like that they held the flashback off a little bit further.
Yes.
And they waited until she leaves. It's all awkward. And he's sitting there like just assuming, oh, she'll be back. She's coming back for me. So
well, they reveal that they've known each other a long time, even before the Germans occupied Paris. And this puzzles Laszlo. He had no idea this was going on. And they finish out the night. Great line where Captain Renault says it wouldn't do for the prefect of police to be caught after curfew drinking in his own town. So everyone is gone, but there's two people left in the bar. There's Sam tickling the ivories, and then there's Rick. And Rick is drinking a lot of, as he says, bourbon. I never understood why he pronounces that way in the movie, but he's drinking a lot of bourbon. And Sam just sees this is bad news all over, and he wants to get him out. And he says, no, I'm waiting for a lady. And he stays there and waits and waits. And then Sam plays for Rick as time goes by, which goes into one of the greatest flashback sequences, showing how Rick and Ilsa met in Paris and progressed and eventually would want to be married. And it is a really great sequence of vignettes. This is the birth of the love story. They find out the Germans are coming to Paris, and I do love this scene. They're pounding champagne because the owner of the bar says he'd rather water his garden with champagne than let the Nazis have it. So they're drinking, and they're drinking, and they're drinking. But Ilsa seems hesitant. And Rick says, well, we got to get out of town. Let's meet at the train station, and we'll get out. And she says, I guess, kiss me, Rick. Kiss me as though it were the last time. That's a little heavy to get at that point.
Should have been a giveaway for him.
That really was a good clue. But at the train station, she never shows. She left behind at her apartment, heartbreaking goodbye breakup note. Rick and Sam leave without her in the rain, and the flashback ends. And then, as Rick predicted, Ilsa shows up at the bar. But Rick is bitter, and he is not in a forgiving mood.
I heard a story once. As a matter of fact, I've heard a lot of stories in my time. They went along with the sound of a tinny piano playing in the parlor downstairs. Mister, I met a man once when I was a kid. It always began. Well, I guess neither one of our stories is very funny. Tell me, who was it you left me for? Was it Laszlo, or were there others in between? Or aren't you the kind that tells?
Wow. We're right before that scene. You feel that Rick's a pretty good guy, but he is really being a dick to her there.
He is drunk at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, he's drinking excessive bourbon, but still, he harbors those feelings towards her. And I guess he should, because, he thought he was left for Victor Laszlo at the train station there. And by the way, how great is the ink on the paper when the rain hits it?
Oh yeah,
it is so beautiful.
with the note left behind. It's
so great. So the next morning, Ilsa and Laszlo show up at the prefect's office, and they're informed point blank they're not going to get a visa out of Casablanca, and they know that, the letters of transit are out of play because Ugarte is dead. So he says, oh, well, we could get you a visa if you give us a list of the names of everyone in the underground movement that you're part of. And of course he says no, because that's like signing a death certificate. That morning, Rick spots Ilsa in the market. He apologizes. She says that Rick has changed since Paris. And there's a big reveal at this point. She said, I'm married to Victor Laszlo, and we were married back when we were dating. When Rick and Ilsa were in Paris, she was already married to Laszlo. This is quite a surprising reveal, and one that throws Rick a little bit.
Well, yeah, it wasn't in the flashback.
No, it was not at all. And Ilsa does say, the Rick I knew in Paris would understand, but you don't. See, that's what the bourbon does to you.
Right.
Rick is really kind of worked up. Everyone is sure in the whole city that Rick has the letters of transit. Yvonne comes back. Remember her, the drunken one-night stand, and she's dating a Nazi soldier. That's not the way to make friends.
As you do.
Well, a fight breaks out, and all of this violence makes the Nazis very uneasy. They say, all of this has to be controlled. This is a powder keg situation, and it gets worse and worse. And Laszlo tries to buy the letters from Rick. Rick says, no, ask your wife why I don't want to. And then a really, really cool scene. And I can only imagine the way this played, because when this movie was released, America was just getting into World War II. And the Nazi soldiers are in Rick's bar and they're singing some rousing German fight song. And it's very ugly because they're hideous people. So Laszlo stands up and gets the band, with Rick's approval, to sing La Marseillaise, the song of Free France. And they actually drowned out the Nazis. Even Yvonne is singing along. And the lady with the flamenco guitar. It is a great, great, I won't say understated, but a subtle dig at the way that freedom will hopefully always prevail.
That's how you get rid of Nazis. You sing.
You sing louder than the Nazis.
Right. That'll do it.
Well, all of this, based on all the things that have gone on, the Nazis are really uptight. And they say to Louis Renault, you've got to shut down this nightclub. There's too much trouble. You've got to shut it down. He says, what reason? Everyone's having such a good time. And he says, figure out a reason.
I advise that this place be shut up at once.
But everybody's having such a good time.
Yes, much too good a time. The place is to be closed.
But I've no excuse to close it.
Find one.
Sortez, monsieur.
Everybody is to leave here immediately. This cafe is closed until further notice. Clear the room at once.
How can he close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
You're winning, sir. Right. Oh, thank you very much. It's a great moment. So Rick's Cafe is closed. And at this point, we cut to a scene with Ilsa and Laszlo. And Ilsa vaguely references the fact that she might have done a bad thing with Rick, but she did it for the right reasons. And Laszlo says, if you say you did it for the right reasons, I believe you, and I still love you. So they're okay. Ilsa calls on Rick again, begging for the letters, and even pulls a gun on him. He says, go ahead and shoot. You'll be doing me a favor. And she backs down, and then, unexpectedly, they embrace. She still loves Rick. They kiss. And she reveals, this is such a great plot twist, that when Rick and Ilsa, when they were dating in Paris, she was operating under the impression that Laszlo was dead, because there were rumors in the underground that he had been assassinated. So she felt like she was a widow.
Good time to get rid of this, and good time to hang on to two different guys, because you never know which one's going to be in a concentration camp, which one's going to be arrested. You don't know.
Which one's headed off to Lisbon or anything like that. But it is a great turn, because we find out that, she was married, but she wasn't doing anything untoward, which is pretty cool. So they are in each other's. Well, I mean,
it's pretty cool that she waited till she thought her husband was dead to be with another man. I'm sorry,
let me jump on the outside looking in. It was a cool plot device. It was sort of like a mystery movie type thing. Very tricky, very layered.
An accidental affair.
An accidental affair, indeed. And when Ilsa seemed distracted when they were pounding the champagne, that was when she found out. So she knew that her plan to escape was flawed because her husband was still alive. So at this point, Rick and Ilsa plan to use the letters themselves and leave Casablanca for America. Ilsa sneaks out as Laszlo comes in. He talks, and he asks Rick to save Ilsa alone. He loves her that much. But at that moment, they bust in, and Laszlo is arrested. Rick goes to bat for Laszlo, but at this point, Renault is helpless, and Rick announces he's going to be leaving with Ilsa, but asks Renault to help frame Victor Laszlo because they can get a better crime on him if he's found holding the letters of transit. So he's leaving Casablanca. He sells his cafe to Sidney Greenstreet, the Blue Parrot owner, Ferrari. He looks out for Sam. He takes care of Carl. He takes care of Sasha. Rick really is a good guy. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, Renault is there, and the couple, Ilsa and Laszlo, show up. And Laszlo doesn't know about this double cross until Renault steps in to arrest Laszlo. Then out of the blue, shocking, another great turn, Rick pulls out a gun and starts to boss Captain Renault around. And Renault says he's calling ahead to the airport. But what he does is he dials Nazi Major Strasser and says something about the airport so that Major knows something's up. At the airport, Rick reveals, again, big surprise, that the letters are actually going to be signed in the names of Ilsa and Laszlo, because Ilsa is a part of Victor's world and his fight, and there is a heartfelt and very memorable goodbye.
Ilsa, I'm no good at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world. Someday you'll understand that. Now. He's looking at you, kid.
Again, so many quotable moments in this movie. Rick reveals that was his plan all along. He truly is a great guy, and he is welcomed back by Victor Laszlo to the fight. Now, once they get into the plane and they're about to leave, Renault says, I have to arrest Rick. And at that point, Major Strasser has put things together, and he arrives at the airport, and he is pissed.
What was the meaning of that phone call? Victor Laszlo is on that plane. Why do you stand here? Why don't you stop him? Ask Monsieur Rick. Get away from that phone. I would advise you not to interfere.
I was willing to shoot Captain Renault, and I'm willing to shoot you. Hello. Put that phone down.
Get me the radio tower.
Put it down.
So great. Zoom in on Uncle Bobo, something you need to keep in mind. The zoom lens had not been invented yet. So that is an actual camera track in that fast at his face. I don't know how he didn't block himself to have a huge Hollywood camera coming to him. But such a great turn of events.
Round up the usual suspects.
At that point, Rick and Renault walk off side by side, saying that the money from the bet will pay for a lovely trip for both of them, and they can finally get away from Casablanca. And they say, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Finn,
yes,
that's the movie.
But they should at least take Sam with them on that vacation.
Well, yeah, I agree. But remember, he sold the cafe, and Sam's going to be taken care of.
That's true.
He's going to get 20%. Yeah. He's going to get 25% of the take. So yes. I have to apologize for the lengthy clips. I have to apologize for the length of this week's recap. But I think it's important because it is a very densely layered script. There's a lot of stuff going on. And before we take a break, I just want to ask you, the movie, every time I watch it, I forget all the things that are going on and the layers of it. And there are so many twists and turns. Did you find it clear to watch? Did you think the storytelling was effective?
No, I think it's hard to follow because it is all dialogue driven. Mm-hmm. It is all, if you miss a line here or there, you miss things too much. It's all dialogue, which I'm not used to. I know older movies were like that. It's more like going and seeing a play.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I guess I have the advantage there because I've seen it a billion times.
Yes.
But it is a movie that merits additional watches. Would you look at it again someday?
No, probably not.
What if your lovely wife said, I heard you watched Casablanca. I've always wanted to see it.
Then I would.
Would you watch it with me?
I would. But I invited her to watch it with me, and she said no.
Well, maybe after she listens to this episode and sees me in a tuxedo.
You know, it's another one of these movies where I've never seen it before in my life. So, and you hear all about it. So it's worth watching. And now, like, I should not be the guy that can recognize characters from Casablanca because they're in the Maltese Falcon. Like, that's not who I am.
But don't
and
you
now
see
I get to.
What a victory that is for me.
Yes, I
because that's the purpose of this podcast.
It is
to make
it
you
is the purpose.
Know that stuff.
Agreed. And you know, there's the quotes with the start of a beautiful friendship and always have Paris. And here's looking at you that we hear all the time. That every other movie parodies these lines, and so it's cool to see them in their structure.
It is a part of like a pop culture. I mean, it really is. And if you don't know it from this, you'll know it from a Bugs Bunny cartoon or something much later or much later or much later. I'm glad you watched it. I'm sorry you had to watch it with spots. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll break down some of the things that work and some trivia and some things that don't work. Thank you, folk, for watching Hicks Nicks Sticks Picks. And we are back with Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks as we attack the 1942 classic Casablanca, Best Picture of the year. And one thing I wanted to ask you, well, first I got to say, the reason I picked this film is my dad's favorite movie ever. So this is in tribute to my dad. Anything you say something bad, I want you to know my dad is somewhere above us saying Josh is stupid. So be careful. Be very careful.
Speaking of your dad.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Barbed Wire?
Yeah.
Apparently that's supposed to be a soft remake of Casablanca.
Very, very soft.
I can't say I've ever seen it either.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to make it on the Hicks Nicks, but I saw that when I was doing my pre-show, like, had they tried to remake this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of things could be called a soft remake of this thematically. Not with the detailed plot, though.
Yes.
So I think that, was it called Tiger King? That show that was on
the Netflix show?
When we all got COVID and everyone watched it because everyone had COVID. I think one of the things about this movie is it truly benefits from its moment in history. It's a weird thing. The movie only really encapsulates a few days. And by my math, there's a line when Bogart says, it's December. But America hasn't been bombed yet for Pearl Harbor.
Right.
So this has to take place between December 1st and December 7th. So that's the sort of image they're capturing there. But when it was released, we were already in World War II. And Casablanca had been part of some negotiations. And it is such a patriotic, anti-Nazi movie that you don't have to have an American opposition to it. I think it encapsulated the zeitgeist, good word, the zeitgeist of America at the time. It is a great movie, but I think its staying power landed because it was released at the exact time.
Sure. And I think because of that also, it loses some context in 2026.
It does. It really does. I mean, I told you before you watched it, at least familiarize yourself with Vichy and Free France, because that underlying theme is something they don't teach anymore. And I didn't even mention this, is that at the end, before they talk about the beautiful friendship, Captain Renault picks up a bottle of Vichy water and throws it down in anger because he's sick of all the Nazism too. So, I mean, everyone sort of comes around. This is often regarded, it's usually a horse race between this and Citizen Kane as the best American movie ever made. I could say yes, I could say no. I know I love watching it. I think certainly it is the most quotable movie of that era. Every scene has something that has gotten into the pop culture era, and some more than other. Even something as simple as, you despise me, don't you? I mean, it's not something you want to go around saying, but it is such a great scene for Peter Lorre. Do you like Peter Lorre as Senor Ugarte, or do you like him better as Joel Cairo?
Oh, I prefer Cairo.
You do?
Joe Cairo, yes.
Joel Cairo.
Joel, not Joe. Joel.
Joe is great. Now, the music in this movie is great. We talked about As Time Goes By, and I showed you the sheet music, and we can have just a taste of it here. It's so iconic that Warner Brothers now uses the melody in their overall studio card when they release videos. They show Warner Brothers Studios, and they play a few notes from
So that's
As Time
probably
Goes
where
By.
I've heard it before.
I think so, probably. But I say this with a bit of reticence to you and to everyone, because it'll ruin a certain aspect of the film for you. Dooley Wilson, who played Sam, he was not a piano player. He did his own singing, but he was not a piano player. He was a drummer. And once you watch his hands as he plays the piano, you will never not be able to see how bad he is at pretending to play the piano. Did you notice it?
I did not. And normally like musicians, that gets me. Like a guitarist throws me off completely because so many times they're not moving their hands on the properly.
Sam is not even trying. You know, there's a lot of finger picking notes there, precise notes.
Yes.
It really looks like he's got like a fish in each hand and he's just flopping it on the piano. It is rotten.
They should have done better framing.
I hate that I saw that because now I can't unsee it. Now, About Sam, you say he was your favorite.
He's my favorite. He's the glue that holds it all together because he knows the two before all of this in the past and everything. And I love the play of refusing to play the song because he knows it brings them together.
Right. I love the fact that Sam's character, being African American in this era of Hollywood, could easily have been a cringy character, but it's not played that way. He is actually quite heroic in the fact that he protects Rick. He's loyal to Rick. Rick is extraordinarily loyal to Sam. And there's nothing about this that diminishes him as a character.
It's a straight friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't see that. Maybe in a handful of movies.
Yeah, not early like this, sure.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And he is sort of like, people say something like the conscience or the soul of the movie, because he knows what's going on from square one.
Right.
And he's entertaining and he's funny. You're right. I love Sam. The look of this movie. Did you watch a nice print of it? Did it look great? Well,
it looked great. Yeah. It was digitized and looked great.
All of the studios at this time, and this is 1942, they all had sort of their own look. Color was happening, but not big yet.
Well, my version was colorized.
No,
I'm just messing with you. It was
you
not.
are such a jerk. I would not accept that.
Well, hey, April Fools.
Oh, okay. I'll buy it.
There we go.
I don't know if they have colorized it, but I think they must have, because I remember Peter Lorre's coat being light blue for some reason. But anyway, all the studios had their own look. For example, MGM, their dark tones, like blacks, like the floor and the walls, they were the richest black tones you could see. The Universal monster movies had severe contrast, and Warner Brothers, except for the gangster picks early on, they could make black and white literally sparkle. Did you get any of that when you're watching like the Ilsa character? Her tear sparkles.
I didn't see a sparkle. There's so much depth when you watch something that was recorded on film.
Yeah, and it glistens. It does, because
so much modern stuff will frame out with focus, so they frame out the backgrounds and stuff, and this doesn't do that. So
I love the looks around Rick's Cafe. There's so much depth and so much attention to detail. When I was honeymooning with my wife back in the late 40s, we went to Cancun, and there was a theme restaurant, Rick's Cafe. So we had dinner there, and it was set up just like Casablanca. Very, cool. Very cool.
Let me show you this clip.
Okay, please.
It is the colorized version.
Oh, no.
It looks so wrong.
Oh, make it stop.
It looks like it.
It looks like so a cup of coffee with 15 cups of sugar in it.
Right.
I would dare say that in this movie, although it was probably filmed in black and white because budget constraints,
be on guard.
The black and white film is as much of a character as anything in the movie.
Thank you very much.
So gorgeous and it merits looking at. Speaking of Rick's Cafe, that was the only original set they built for this movie. This was not an A+ production. They had to watch the pennies here, so they built the set of the cafe.
And that was the main scene, was the cafe. Everything else, like the airport can be any generic airport.
The only thing they'd shot off the lot was when Strasser arrives by plane is at Van Nuys Airport. That's the only thing that they didn't do on the back lot. Everything else is recycled or stock footage. But what's funny is at the airport at the end, as you know, America was at war. They were not allowed to go to an airport and light it up because it would make an obvious target for enemies. So they built a small airport set, and to make it look bigger, the plane in the distance is smaller than a real plane.
Right.
And they hired little people and short actors and forced perspective to make it look bigger.
Forced perspective makes sense. Little people. Okay.
Well, it was the 40s. They're working on it. But yeah, so that was not a real airport at the end. And if you look at it, it is a really simplistic set, but it does work. The worst part to me is the guitar lady, but they incorporated into it. The costumes are beautiful. enough to make me wear a tuxedo today. But I mean, you got Ingrid Bergman, who's beautiful anyway, but the way they dress her and light her and all of that, the men's suits are all gorgeous. Even the uniforms of the different military organizations are great. Not a stitch was ignored. And I found it funny, or interesting, I should say, this movie was not shown in Germany until 1955 because of the anti-German feelings in it. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Also, there probably weren't many movies shown in Germany before then.
You're right. You're right. Because they don't have popcorn in Germany. You have to go in and buy like a Weisswurst and sit down. It's not great. So we talked about the Epstein brothers, one of the greatest pairs of script writers in Hollywood. When this movie started, the script was not complete. And so even characters like Ilsa didn't know who she was going to end up with because it hadn't been written yet. So the director told her, play it in the middle. But I think that adds depth because Ilsa herself is confused in the movie. So having the actress confused makes it a little deeper that she doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, and it makes her kind of either man she's happy with. Like
exactly.
It's not, it doesn't make it clear on, there's no, I really want to be with you, but I'm stuck with this guy. It's actually, no, I like them both.
Yeah, I think it actually worked in his favor. I always find something new when I watch it, and I'd never noticed this before. When she commits to being back with Rick, so she's absolutely divided, there's a wonderful medium shot of her by a mirror. So you see two of her, like she's split. And
I've got two of her right here.
Oh, good. No, stop it. Stop it. You bad man. Doesn't want to be in color.
No, it doesn't
want to be in color.
It should not be.
You talked about possibly a remake. Did you know Madonna wanted to remake the movie?
I saw Madonna kept trying to remake it, yes.
And do you know who she picked for Rick?
No. Who'd she pick for Rick?
Ashton Kutcher.
Hill of beans in this crazy world.
I know with that one.
It's a jaw dropper. It really is.
She just wanted a chance. Well, who's the other guy?
Oh, I don't know.
Because clearly she's painting herself as the love interest.
Yeah, we know. No, she was going to play Rick.
Yeah, maybe, she could play Sam.
She could play Sam. But again, because this was not an A+ picture at the time, the casting, Bogart was not the first choice. First choice to play Rick was Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And I think he could have done it. He was a good actor back in the day.
I've never seen him as an actor.
He's mostly as your political hero.
Yes.
Okay. You should sometimes watch King's Row. It's a good movie.
Okay.
George Raft, who was a tough guy, he wouldn't have been any good. When we're talking actors, many of the actors in the film were actual escapees of the Nazis. And you see a lot of people, especially in the mini vignettes within the cafe, they have accents. And those are actual accents because they had fled Europe to come here. So you got a cast here that is really, really invested in the story. Getting back to Captain Renault, he is sleazy. He is horny. He abuses power. He wants his money. But somehow, even when he's all those disgusting things, he comes off as charming. I'm, at the end of the movie, so relieved when he turns out to be a good guy.
Well, I think it's more of just the difference Rick has made in that little town.
Yeah,
you're right. That even this guy can't turn Rick in. He's got that relationship.
But he is so many people that you think are bad turn out to be great. I mean, at the end, you're even thinking Rick is a bad guy at the end.
At the end, the only bad guys are the Nazis.
And he gets shot. So that'll teach you. Nazis, don't do that. Yeah, and even the minor, you're talking about how there's so much dialogue in the movie. There is.
There's so much.
Did you watch it with subtitles? Closed captioning?
No.
That helps sometimes.
No, because then I'd have to read and listen to a lot of dialogue.
Well, I know, but it's not like you're driving your Tesla. I mean, you can actually pay attention to this. But all of the characters this is a weird comparison, but it rings true to me. A little bit like Ted Lasso, even the minor characters you care about.
Yes.
Like the couple that hits twice on roulette because Rick fixes it for them. So she doesn't have to bone Renault.
You're right. It does do that same thing. And I love that you brought up Ted Lasso as the comparison, because I made the same thing I said to Kelly yesterday when we finished watching the new episode of Shrinking, which is the same creators.
Yeah.
And how all the background characters end up being my favorite characters.
It is, Ted Lasso is amazing in modern entertainment to have a cast that big. I mean, the whole soccer team is in it.
And you love all
care
the
about
players.
everybody.
Yes.
It's got to be like some sort of crazy writing something they do to get that much detail and care into a half-hour script. But
it is.
They do the same thing here.
Yeah.
The guy that is the waiter, the big fat guy, S.K. Sakal, who plays Carl, who you know from Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Oh, that's right. He is on the Yankee Doodle Dandy.
But you care about Carl. He's sweet. He loves Rick. He's a freedom fighter. And Sasha, the bartender, loves that Rick's a good guy. It's just so layered. The soft focus on Ilsa. I mean, if they could have used literally wizardry and black magic to make her prettier, they probably couldn't. They used every trick in Hollywood, and it is so well done. And we talked about it's probably already a great movie, but the timing of it is what really sealed it in the American brain at the time. So I have to ask you, do you have anything in this movie that you have a true problem with?
My problem is there was too much dialogue telling the story. And part of that is less sets, less jumping around. So that makes sense. But that's a time thing. And then just 2026, looking back at, like, I have not studied World War II enough to know what was going on at that pre-America getting involved.
We
so a little lost in that to kind of just jump in at even the narration to start it. It sets the scene, but it sets the scene by telling me a whole lot of stuff I didn't know ahead of time.
I was 25 before I even knew there was a place called Oran. I always thought he was saying Iran, but it's Oran.
Right.
But yeah, I think it probably would have landed better at the time because people were following what was going on.
Yes.
If you take that aspect out, it's still a great story, but you can imagine how rich it was when it landed at that time.
Totally. It's a great story. The actors and actresses are great in it and all that. So I got to give it that at least.
Okay. I know that you like Sam. Did you like most of the other performers? I always thought that Paul Henreid was a little stiff.
No, there was no one. No, there was no one that irritated me.
That's good.
I thought all the actors were very good.
And I always, anytime you put Sidney Greenstreet in a movie, that's my favorite. Is there anything about the movie that shocked you or surprised you because you hadn't seen it? And also, we've been trying to watch this for 2.5 weeks. I had, of course, a complex thinking that you didn't want to watch the movie.
It's baseball season.
It's
as simple as that.
Right. Right.
And spring break. Spring break hit also.
That'll do it.
What did I got lost. What's the question?
The question was, is there anything about the movie that surprised you in a pleasant way that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, Rick shooting a Nazi at the end. I didn't see that coming. Like, I know he threatened the first guy.
Yeah.
But I assumed, Rick's going to die there because I'm an idiot and I know that whole, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I know that.
Yeah, but you kind of check out of that if you're following the story.
Right, I'm following the script and I'm like, I don't realize that's right here. So, yeah, I was surprised by that.
Well, just keep in mind, folks, if you're making a movie nowadays, if you shoot a Nazi, that's a great button on the story.
It's a great way to end a movie.
Great way. So, Josh, do you have anything else to add besides your obvious disdain for the fact of me making you watch this black and white movie?
No, I am all good with my notes.
Okay, so
I do not mind watching this movie. I will not watch it again, but I don't mind watching it.
I'm really pleased because I do think it is an important movie. I think it is a great film. And this is kind of the reason I wanted to do this show with you. I wanted to see how you did it. It's good that you've seen it.
I agree that it's a good foundational movie.
Okay,
I'll
good.
agree with you there.
Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, how many letters of transit do you give this movie?
I'll give it 5. I'll drop it right there in the middle.
5?
5.
What if it had been in color? And don't you bring up that footage again.
You know, maybe if it was maybe it was right before the Gulf War, I would understand what was going on.
Okay.
Maybe. So and again, too much dialogue for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it a 5, but that might be my highest of the black and whites.
You know, it might be. And I bet, here's the thing. I bet 2 weeks from now, out of the blue, you will think of this movie and say, wow, that was a good movie. But I'm not going to hold you to that.
Maybe so. I don't see myself going back to it, but I'm glad I watched it.
I give it a 9.6.
What about, you're holding back 0.4?
Yeah, because of the lady with the guitar. I don't like that. I don't like that part. That's unfortunate. And Sam's piano hands.
I can totally understand this being your dad's favorite movie.
I watched it with him so many times.
Because of age and context, it makes sense. That fits.
He would have it on DVD or VHS, but anytime it was on TV, he'd watch it. He'd search it out. He would TiVo it back in the days of TiVo on Turner Classic Movies and leave it in his TiVo so he could reference it at a moment's notice. And I say that I've watched it. I'd say I've watched the movie probably 120 times, but 20 times I watched it with my dad. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty good stuff. So
yeah,
that's one for you, Pop. I love you. All right. New curve this week. Next week's movie, I know it's going to be one of 2, but I don't know which is in the envelopes. So I have
like that
for
you narrowed it down to 2. Any thought of instead of A and B doing like 10 different envelopes and we pull over 10 weeks? So then you really don't know?
This is enough surprise for me right now.
All right.
So this is Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, 20 Fix Picks. So you need to pick either envelope A or envelope B. And honestly, Josh, I know the 2 movies, but I don't know which is which.
Well, we will go with envelope B.
B it is.
Yeah,
okay.
B is that one, yes.
Okay. Envelope B, Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, 26 Fix Picks, choice B. Folks, honest to God, Josh has no idea what's about to happen.
I never know.
And also, I don't. By the way, my wardrobe for today's episode brought to you by Botany 500. Oh, I was hoping for this. It's in color.
All right.
From 1964 in Eon Productions, we will be watching Goldfinger, the James Bond movie with Sean Connery, Gert Frobe, Honor Blackman, Lois Maxwell, Harold Sakata, and Bernard Lee, directed by Guy Hamilton, 1 hour, 50 minutes.
All right. I know you've been going through the Bond movies recently. I have never seen Goldfinger.
Have you seen a Bond movie, though?
I've seen Goldmember.
That's not the same. That's quite different.
I've seen the modern Bonds. I've seen Pierce Brosnan and then whoever was after him.
And who's the new guy that did the Knives Out movies?
Yeah.
That is Bond now.
Yeah, I don't.
See, this is a movie podcast. We don't have to trouble ourselves with details. Daniel Craig.
Daniel
Craig
seen
is
Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. I haven't seen any of the ones before then.
I would say that I've seen most of them, not recently, but I've seen most of the films. Goldfinger might be the quintessential Bond movie, and it's fun. It's not stupid, like the one where he goes into outer space or they're building an underwater city. I think that it's not stupid like Moonraker. I think you're going to enjoy it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, before we get together again, watch Goldfinger. I believe it is on Netflix until April 20th.
All
so
right.
you can catch it
I'm
for
going to
free.
watch it this weekend so we can have this be a quick turnaround to the next episode.
I'd like that. I would very much like that. And as always, take notes on Goldfinger. Josh, this was a fun one. This was a lengthy one.
It was.
But good time. Thank you. And thank everyone for listening. And remember, you can visit our website, hicksnickstickspicks.com.
Right.
That's with an X. And you can comment on stuff.
And a donation of $200 and your movie becomes the next movie.
Yeah, and for $250, we'll do it fast. We'll put you at the head of the line. You can go ahead of Goldfinger.
No, if you will go to the top of the line, outside of if we've already announced the movie, we have to stick to it.
That's
so everyone
true. Don't
knows.
Be so
we
self-important,
need to give
everybody.
people a week's heads up, or at least an episode heads up to watch the next episode.
And people need to do all the things. Where can they do all the things?
All these social stuff. Share the podcast anywhere on YouTube. Go like it on YouTube. Even if you're an audio listener, go like and share it on YouTube as well. Just demand it. Talk about it on, and if we see enough social demand, maybe we'll try doing a live stream.
Yeah, let us know if you'd be into that. We would love to take an evening and do the show live. And in that case, you can comment too.
Maybe
and say,
even
Josh, don't watch that movie in color.
Or maybe even a watch along.
That
where we
would
all
be
press
fun.
play at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I'd like that. That'd be good. Now you're dying to know what's in the other envelope, aren't you?
Is it another Bond movie?
No.
Because you had the
but it
Bond
is-
music ready to go.
I had music for the other movie too. But you'll be watching, of course, Goldfinger, the James Bond movie, and a favorite of mine. I love that you've not seen it. You're going to have a blast. So until next time, and we hope to be back very soon, thank you for listening to Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks. I love you, Pop. And I'm Robb Spewak.
I'm Josh Sroka.
We'll see you next time.
Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks. A podcast about Robb's movies with Robb Spewak and Josh Sroka.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.